been over 5 years since the Clarke Indians beat the Centerville Redettes in volleyball. Dates back to August 31st of 2017. They are one set away from snapping that streak. But thus far, these first two here in our first match at the Centerville Triangular have been a bit lopsided on both sides. Centerville came out absolutely cruised in the first. They used a 12-love run in the opening stages of that frame to run away with a 25-11 win. Clarke comes right back. It was pretty back and forth there in the early going till we got to about the halfway point before the Indians were able to go on a mini run to distance themselves and ultimately win that one by 9, 25-16. So what does our third set have in store for us? Dewayne Cook here on Go SEC TV. We got A.J. Anderson running the show for us, directing our broadcast here tonight for all three matches. Tatum Markison on the camera for us as well, set up shop here behind the Clarke side of the net with having dual courts going on at the same time. We can't give you that normal side view you would typically see here at Lakeview Elementary. But what really also started to take shape a little bit for the Indians in that second set, in the latter stages in particular, was their serve receive. Centerville has recorded to this point, last time I checked, I believe it was 12 ace serves. They didn't give up any, Clarke, towards the end of the second. They're going to have to be good at it again here in the third if they want to pull out a win. George blocks back the attack from Hagan, the Clarke defense behind it. Tori Henry up front to Allie, sets it for Josie Dunbar, hits it off of a diving effort from Kovacevic, and it hits the banners on the side of the gym here in Lakeview. Allie Henry ended up with 7 assists in that second set, make it 8 after that one to Josie Dunbar, when the Indians did not have a single kill in the first set. The serve from Henry, it goes wide. The third service error by Clarke. And that's rare at times to see that from Henry. She's usually pretty steady from behind the service line. Out goes Faith Owens in Madison Castile to serve. Goes right at Tori Henry. Great pass to Allie Henry. Middle for Dunbar. Her and George squaring off again. This time Kessner on the left side. Kovacevic hit it into the net. Maddie Kovacevic started this match so hot. Came out in the first set, had a couple of kills, 2 ace serves to wrap up that 25-11 win, had a block too. She added a pair more of kills in that second set, but towards the end had a few that went into the net on her, so she's got to find that zone again for Centerville. Hagan, low serve, overpass. No, it rolled back over to the Redettes side to Weber, blocked back by Dunbar. Centerville, though, ready for it. They'll get it back on a free return from Kearney. Hagan, Henry, quick set, Dunbar, George right there with a block, but Allie Henry able to react in time. Around the block this time, great job by Kessner, pinballs around, Dunbar cannot get it back. Well, that point belongs to Rachel George. I know it doesn't go in the scorebook as a point for number 21, but she made that happen with her defense on that front row. She goes back to serve, Kenesha Ruby into the match. To Ava Hagan, all tied at 2. Tori Henry, back row, dug by George. Kearney, back corner, you bet. I've got to give credit where it is due to a senior setter in Brecken Kearney. I mentioned that Allie Henry in that last set when she had a little dump off there to the far side of the court. Such a heady player. Brecken Kearney absolutely right there with her too. As we show it to you again on the replay. I'm always curious to ask setters that question. When do you know? When do you know it's a good time to try to catch the defense on their heels? Tori Henry around the block attempt from Ruby. Kessner there, nobody home up front. Ball handling error by Centerville. Ties us again at 3. Remember, this one only goes to 15 here in this triangular format, and you got to win by 2. Josie Dunbar to serve. Dug by Weber. Kearney looking outside. Ruby falling back. Oh, we got a loose ball. That's going to be a jump ball. We'll replay the point. Always got to be wary of that when you got a court going on next to you. Don't want anybody to roll an ankle over a loose volleyball, that's for sure. So Dunbar again. Joni Reed out, directing traffic out there for Clarke prior to the serve from Dunbar. Long serve, Weber, pass back up front to Carney, bump set for Ruby, dug by Hagan. Allie Henry back over to it, sets it up for Hagan, and it's going to one-hop the bleachers that are folded up along the back side of the court. Both teams sit with 10 kill errors by my count here in the match. Kessner goes out, in comes Kiera Klum, with the Redettes leading by 1, 4-3. Klum goes right at Hagan. Allie Henry to Tori Henry. Had to adjust on the attack. Over to Kavakovic, who handled it. She gets a set back from Carney off the block. Dunbar there. Henry outside to Tori Henry. It's dug by Weber. Carney again to Kavakovic. That one comes right down the line. What a cutter from Maddie Kavakovic. Just sent that one right down the pipe to give Centerville a 2-point advantage. Bridget Henry digs the serve from Klum. Tori Henry has to adjust again on the set from Allie Henry. Kavakovic digs. Quick set middle for Ruby. She hit it into the net. Maddie McCoy was there on the block, and that might have been just enough to throw off the timing for Ruby as she saw her out of the side of her vision there. Bridget Henry to serve. Up front, Kavakovic pass to Carney. Dumps it off. Reaching back, Tori Henry. Hagan kept it alive. McCoy free return to Weber. Carney for Kavakovic. Into the net. Tied again at 5. Third of the way through. 1-1 here, Centerville and Clarke. The Redettes took the first 25-11. The Indians 25-16 in the second. Centerville has won 9 straight in this series against their South Central Conference foes from Osceola. Bridget Henry's serve dug by Castillo. Weber sets it up for Kavakovic. Roll shot off the fingertips of McCoy. Dunbar there. Allie Henry to Tori Henry. Yes. That one a little bit more smooth between the sisters. There had been a couple here in the early going of this third set that didn't seem to show them on the same page. That one, no doubt about it. Clarke in front, 6-5. Show it to you again on our instant replay. Carney, middle for Ruby. Her crosser goes long to the outside. 7-5. Centerville built a 2-point lead. Clarke came roaring back. Now the Redettes will have to try to do the same with the Indians. Bridget Henry serve. Weber, good pass to Carney for Ruby. That crosser goes wide. That's 3 straight kill errors by Centerville and Tom. Oh, did Tom Hill call timeout or just want to make a substitution? I believe just a substitution. I thought he was going with a timeout too, but no. Change with Kanisha Ruby taking a seat. Abby Sisler, the senior number 18 in your program, checks in. Bridget Henry over to Klum. The pass back over to Carney. She'll send a free ball over to Hagan. Allie Henry to Tori Henry. Off the block. Good job by Klum back row. Carney for Kavakovic over the block. Bridget Henry backs it up. Allie Henry middle for McCoy. Tips it off of Carney. Kept alive by Klum. Free return Kavakovic. Hagan to Henry. Going outside to Tori Henry again. That one's down on a line shot from the junior Tori Henry. And Clarke builds the lead to 4. That will draw the timeout from Tom Hill. Indians just 6 points away from completing the comeback, but the Redettes have something to say about it. We have been treated to quite a match here to open up our Triangular Thursday on Go SEC TV. Here in the third between Centerville and Clarke, the Indians dropped the first set 25-11 as we show you some of the Hills highlights brought to you by Indian Hills Community College thus far through our match. Coming out of the timeout from Tom Hill. Centerville had all the momentum in the world back in the first set. Won at 25-11. Clarke, though, 25-16 in the second. Gathered some of that back on their sideline, and they have built themselves a 4-point lead here in the third. Weber under the low serve from Bridget Henry. Carney to Kavakovic, dug by Bridget Henry. Allie Henry to Tori Henry. Weber back over the net. Allie Henry to McCoy, and her pass went into the net. Ball handling error by the Indians gives a side out to Centerville, which is exactly what Tom Hill was hoping for out of the break. Madison Castile takes a seat. Maddie Kavakovic in to serve. Faith Owens has also returned to the match. And Kovakovic's serve goes long. The 5th service error by the Redettes. And I've got to commend the Indians, folks, on their improvement in the serving game. Just 3 service errors to this point tonight after they had 14 of them against Cardinal on Tuesday. Klum digs the serve from Tori Henry. Carney dumps it off, but a little high. McCoy got there. Allie Henry back to Maddie McCoy. Her shot wide. (10-7) Clarke. Weber with Sisler back to the sideline and Rachel George rotating back in. Dunbar got a piece of it. Pinballed off of McCoy back to Josie. She sent it under the net. Good serve from Weber. Centerville back to within 2. Weber, long, and Dunbar wisely pulled those hands back at the last moment. Side out Indians, Maddie McCoy, 4 points away. Dug by Weber. Carney for George, over the block, McCoy backs it up. Allie Henry, middle for Dunbar. Found that back corner. Yes, she did. What a hit from Josie Dunbar. We'll show it to you again on the instant replay. In system, beautiful set middle, and just to that back left corner for the senior Josie Dunbar. 12-8, McCoy. Dug by Klum. Carney looking for George again. Down in front of Tori Henry. Out goes Klum, back into the match, Alyssa Kessner serving Brecken Carney. Trailing by 3 here in the 3rd. Carney serve off the fingertips of Bridget Henry. It sure looked like it was going to sail long, but she gets a gift on another ace, but the first since midway through the 2nd set for the Redettes. Carney's first of the night. Back to within 2. Henry handles it this time. Henry tried to get it over around George, but she sent it right back. Now free return off of Kessner and down. Caraccio, who's come back into the match. Couldn't handle that one as it fell from the heavens. 13-10 Indians. Serving Allie Henry. Just over the tape, diving down to save it, Caraccio. Carney for Weber. Dug by Tori Henry. Allie Henry looking for Josie Dunbar. Over the block, down in front of Caraccio, and it will be match point for the Clarke Indians. And Tom Hill would like to talk. Save that match point for after the break. The Indians have a chance to accomplish something they haven't done since 2007, and that is a 6-1 start to a volleyball season. Let's see if they can clinch it when we return on Go SEC TV. Match point indeed for Clarke. Out of the break, it'll be Allie Henry trying to close it out from the service line. She's out there with Tori Henry, her sister Maddie McCoy, Bridget Henry, Josie Dunbar, and Ava Hagan. Swings away to Weber. Up front, Carney to George. Dug by Tori Henry. This could be it. Ava Hagan off the block. Josie Dunbar plays it. Allie Henry back corner. Weber overhead dig the pass to Carney. For George in the middle, blocked back by Dunbar. Now Owens found it, but a net violation. Faith Owens called into the net on her attack, and Clarke pulls off the comeback. The Indians snap a 9-match losing streak to Centerville, the first time they have knocked off the Redettes in over 5 years. 11-25, 25-16, and 15-10 in the deciding third to win it 2-1, improve to 6-1 on the season, matching that start from the 07 squad that did just that. Now that 2007 team, they lost their next match. That was on their way to a 32-5 campaign that year. Question now becomes, can the Indians make it 7-1 for the first time in well over 15 years? That is what we are here to decide tonight, as they will be back out there on the hardwood momentarily, taking on our third team here at the Centerville Tri, the Central Decatur Cardinals. We'll see Centerville later on against that Cardinal squad as well in our nightcap here at the Triangular. Stick around. Plenty of great volleyball coming your way on the South Central Conference Network.